Hey guys, it's Maymay. Do you remember the advent calendar I made, this guy right here, using the shadow box punch board from We Are? And you know, we can't get that punch board right now for our store, and so many of you wanted to make this and weren't able to. So I promised you I would come up with a way to create it without the punch board, and I did that, and I'm going to show you that today. Now, we're going to create the boxes that you make to build this with, and we're also going to make a box for the top. They're going to be a little different, okay, because the shadow box punch board allows us to do this. And I've had a lot of you reach out and tell me, you know, we can just recreate that by hand, etc., etc. And yes, that is a thing we can do, but that technology belongs to We Are, and I'm not going to do that. Today, I'm going to show you how to do it without having to have your punch board, if you don't have it, and just using a scoreboard. So let me show you how to do it. It's not really hard. It is different, and you get a tiny bit different result, but really not too bad. Now, the other thing, I won't be creating a full advent calendar with you today because I want to get this to you quickly so you can get started. So I'm going to make the elements for you and give you the measurements for those, and then you'll reference the original video to put it together because it works the same, but we'll talk about more of that in the end. All right, so this is what we're going to start with. This is a 7x7 piece of cardstock, and we're going to score it with just a scoreboard. You can use your trimmer, your scoreboard, whatever you've got. So we're going to score 3 score marks on every single side, okay? With the shadow box punch board, we do 4, but we're not going to do that for this build today. We're just going to do 3. So we're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5 inches. And I want to do that all the way around. So this is going to be slightly different. I am still going to build a good bit of stability into these boxes the way we're constructing them, but you do lose a little bit because with the shadow box punch board, we get that nice kind of frame inside of it that kind of builds those walls around the edge. But the other trade-off with this one is you get bigger boxes, so you'll have more space to put goodies in or put treats in. All right, let me do one more side. 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5. And we'll have these measures for you in the description, and I'm sure Tamitha will also put them in a blog post for you. So you can see our score marks there, just 3 all the way around. Now, I did a little template because I want to show y'all what we're going to cut away here, okay? And I've done this box in a couple different ways, and I find this is the easiest. All right, so you're going to grab some scissors, and on these corners, you're going to cut away 2 of our little scored sections, leaving 1, okay? And the way I have them done is I'm going to have 1 here, 1 here, 1 there, and 1 there, because we're going to take this piece and we're going to flap it in, and then flap this one in, and flap this one in, and flap this one in. And I've done this in different ways, and this is the easiest assembly method, okay? So let me show you here. I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to cut away 2 of those grid marks that we created with our score line. So I'll cut those 2 away, and that creates that corner, okay? Then over here, I'm going to turn it and do the same. If you just do the same thing on all 4 corners, you'll get the correct results. So you see what I'm saying? I turned it here and cut this one. I'm going to turn it here and cut it again. You get the right corners cut if you do that. So just on all 4 sides. One more turn. One more cut. Then we need to go and edit our little tabs a little bit. So we don't need these little guys here. And I'm going to move my template because you know what we're cutting now. Now we've left that little grid piece, and what I want to do is I want to cut straight up beside it, right to where it crosses over here. Let me bring this back over. I said we didn't need it, but we do. See, this is what we're cutting right here to where those meet in that corner. Okay, you're going to do that to all 4 of your tabs. So we've just released that one, and now we're going to release this one. And again, you just turn and recreate what you did on the last one to the next one. Same thing here. Okay, now the other thing I want to do, when we create this as a tab, we fold this up and we send it into this section. This guy's too wide, okay, as he sits. So I just come in here and I just make an angled cut on this tab to take away some bulk. Now, I only did it at the top, okay? If you feel the need when you go to assemble to take this bulk away from the top and the bottom of your tab, you can. I'm going to do it only at the top, so you see I'm just doing it here. But if you were to decide that you needed to take a little bit from top and bottom, let me show you what you do there. So you see I've taken it from one side. I would just take my scissors and come in here and snip in like so, creating that kind of angled tab like that. And if you need to, do that. I didn't need to, so we're going to let that go just like it is. All right, next step, we're going to do some scoring and some creasing. So I'm going to grab each side, and we're going to start with that innermost score mark. I'm going to fold it over, crease that down. And I like to just run around and do that one first, all the way around, just like this, all the way around. Get that first one done, okay? So that's what we've done. We've revealed the bottom of the box, okay? Now here's how I like to treat these. We're going to take this next score line, the one that's right beside our tab, and fold this guy up and crease it. Then this final one, we're going to fold back. All this will make sense in a few minutes, but we're just kind of saving ourselves some work in just a little bit. So that's what we've done. We've kind of done a little mountain fold there, okay? Now, same thing. We're going to fold up, crease that one, fold back, crease that one, turn around, same thing. Fold up, fold back, same thing here, fold up, fold back. So we're just kind of accordion folding all those guys. Now what I want to do is I want to take all of my tabs and turn them in. So I'm just going to fold them in. These tabs need to live inside that section, okay? So when you fold them up, be mindful that you're folding them straight so they'll live inside that little area. All right, so getting these guys all turned up into here like so. Now, I told you I tried this in different ways. I tried doing this where we put the tabs, instead of having them on every corner, I had 2 tabs here and 2 tabs there, and we tucked them into the same side. It was hard to do, so that's why I'm showing you to do it this way. Now, what you want to do at this point to make your life easier is come right here and turn these little guys back out of your way. Trust me, you will be happy you did that little step right there. Just turning those back to reveal where we're working. Now we're going to take our glue, and I'm going to use some art glitter glue here, just some wet glue. You could use sticky tape. That would slow you down a bit, but you could do it. So I'm going to put some glue here, and we're just going to stick that tab down into that little section there that we were laying it over in. Let me squeeze this, and I'll hold it up so you can see it. So you see how that's just inside that little section? That's what we want to do, and we want to do that all the way around to start with. So you want to do every tab first before you do any other folding down. Trust me, I have made several of these. I wanted to make sure I was telling you the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to stick that tab down and attach it to my side. And you can fold that over to squeeze it if you need to, just to get that in there good, but you can just sort of grab it and squeeze it. All this has to do is hold it in place for us. It doesn't have to be permanent. We're going to put more glue on top of this to make it even sturdier. This is just getting the base of our box built. So get that squeezed in, and then we got one more. And you see how having them on every corner gives us room to work? When you have them here and here, you just don't have the same amount of room to work with. All right, that's perfect. All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to go inside here, and we're going to apply glue on that section where our tab is, and we're going to apply glue on this section here. So check this out. I'm going to put some glue here, and I'm going to put some glue inside here. And you don't really have to do that middle section because we're folding this over that. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to push this down, wrap it over our little tab, and push everything together. Let me lift that up so you can see. I'll bring that to camera. What I like to do is take my bone folder here and press in like so, and get that nice and flat. So do you see what I've done there? I've pushed that piece down, and it looks messy right now. We're fixing to fix that, and we're going to just stand our sides up a bit, okay? Just get those sides stood up. Now you're going to do one side, and then you need to go around to the other side and do that one, all right? So we're going to apply glue in the same method. You want to do them across from each other first, and you'll see why. There's another step in just a second. Now, I know this is a lot of work. This is a lot of assembly work, but These advent calendars are going to be something you'll use year after year. You won't have to make them over and over again. So I think if you spend the time on it, you'll be glad that you did, because they make a beautiful finished product. All right, so there's that one. Now, the reason I wanted you to work across from each other is because here we need to make another little snip, okay? You can see, I'm gonna move stuff out of the way so you can see on camera. You can see here that if we were to fold up right now, we get pushback right here. Let me fold it and I'll show you. See how it lines up perfect? We don't want that. What we need to do is bring our scissors here and come in about 1/8 of an inch and make a snip right to where that fold starts, and then snip that away. So this is the piece I snipped away, and you can see that now we can go inside the box, which is what we need to do, and we want to do that on this side as well. So I'm going to go in a little bit and snip about 1/8 of an inch. Then I'll come and snip that away. That piece falls away, and now we can fold this up. You need to do that on both sides. So as long as you've made yourself some clearance there, you're in good shape. So now we're going to put glue right where we did a while ago on that furthest inside, and then on the top. And now we'll tuck down, around and over, and press everything down. Same thing on this side. So this is one I did earlier, and this is the one I just did. And you can always, to hide these pieces in here, cut a piece of decorator cardstock that's about 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 and glue it in. And that'll be pretty to hide all the workings. But you'll need 24 of these to make the project. Now, just like in our original shadow box punch board advent, what we need now is a sleeve to go around these so we can stack them up for the build. So let me show you how you do that. So this piece here is 4 1/8 wide by 10 1/8 long, and we need to do some score marks. Your first score mark is at 5/8, then 4 3/4, then 5 3/8, then 9 1/2. Okay, that's your scores for your sleeve. Super easy. What I really love about this is because it's 4 1/8, you can get 2 of these from one piece of 8 1/2 by 11. So that's really good. All right, let's fold and crease all our lines. Then all we need to do is on this end here, we need to glue this together. So I'm going to apply glue on one of our tabs on the outside of one, and then the inside will overlap like so. And this will become our sleeve. And what I like to do is press that together, but I even kind of press it flat and push down to get that nice and adhered. And then you'll see we end up with this sleeve. Recognize that from before? All right, watch this. If we take this box and we slide it inside, this will be our drawer. So it looks very similar to what we were doing before, but we do have a thinner box edge than our shadow box punch board, but this will work the same. So let me show you here. This is 3 of the boxes glued together just like I did in the original, and you can see how they're starting to stack up. Then this is 3 additional boxes glued together using the sleeves, and then they'll stack up again. Now this is the design for the original. I did it like this. I'm working on a second one that I'm gonna alternate these because I think it'll be really cool to have a little more decorator space here and some drawers here. So I end up with 3 drawers, 3 drawers, 3 drawers. They'll just alternate around. So when I get that one done, I'll bring it to you, but that's why I haven't glued these together yet. But once you get your sleeves and your boxes built, that's when you want to reference my original video for how to assemble. All right, let's build the box for the top. Now our original advent calendar has this really pretty box on top that opens like this with a magnet, and it works this way because of my shadow box punch board. This worked perfect. But what I did for this one is create just a simple lidded box. So you'll just have a box with a lid that'll pull off, and this is what it'll look like finished. Okay, this section will get glued to the advent calendar, and then your lid will pull off easy. Now right now it's not going to because it's not being held down, but once this is glued to the top of your advent calendar box, this will just lift off easy. So let's make this box. You're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock, whatever color you want. One of them is 7 by 7, that's this guy, and one is 7 1/8 by 7 1/8. Your 7 1/8 is your lid. Just remember, it's slightly larger than your base. This 7 by 7 is your base. All right, we need to score. And we're going to score this 1 inch in all the way around. So we're just going to do 1 inch and turn, 1 inch and turn, 1 inch and turn, 1 inch and turn. So that's going to be our box base. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come to each of these corner sections where this little crossover is, and we're going to create a tab. So I'm going to cut straight to that first score mark there, right beside my actual score mark. I'm going to cut the score mark away, okay? Then I'm going to make a tab. So I'm just going to cut at an angle into the center. I'm going to do the same here, right to the score mark. Now these are going to be hidden. You're not going to see these. Are going to be inside the little box. And I'm going to do one here, and then I'm going to do one here. And you see I did top and bottom. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, now let's fold and crease all the lines. Now our tabs are going to fold to the inside like so we can glue them down. And this box, when I finish it, will be kind of raw on the inside. It'll just be this box with the tabs. But again, you can cut decorator cardstock and cover all of your working if you like and clean everything up. So you just do that with 1 inch or even 3/4 inch strips, and you would just lay them inside. And if you did that, would just hide your working here. That would be really pretty. But that'd be a cool thing to do when you start to decorate. You might even consider wrapping some around the outside to kind of hide these corners if you wanted to. But this will be the box that'll hold the big gift. Now let's make the lid. Now the lid is so easy. Remember, this is your 7 1/8 by 7 1/8 piece. Because you cut it 7 1/8, all your extra sizing is built in. It needs to be slightly bigger than the base so that it'll go on the top. So here's all you have to do. Score this 1 inch all the way around. That 1/8 of an inch is just going to live right where it needs to be, which is inside here, because we're doing the same 1 inch score. And this will allow our sides of our box to be the same height. All right, and now we're going to glue this guy together. Now for this one, I'm going to do it slightly different. This is going to be my lid. So this one's going to show, okay? So I'm just going to come in here and cut this little score mark away like so. So you see I just cut that score mark out. This will give us a neater finish here because this, like I said, it's going to show. You don't want to do those little angled tabs because they look a little bit messier. So just cut your little score marks away. Now we're going to fold and crease and assemble it just like we did the other, but we just won't have those angle pieces. So we'll have to be a little straighter, a little neater. Okay. So when we line these up, you can take a second and press these in because we lost that little score line to get that nice and clean. See that? You could do the base this same way, but I don't worry about it too much because it's going to be filled with things that you won't even see how the end looks or how the inside looks. But when the lid comes off, people might see a little more inside of it. And we're just going to glue all 4 of our tabs on. So this is our lid here, okay? And then when we bring our box bottom back over, you'll see that this sits right on top, and it's a little snug. It's not super snug. You've got a little room, but we want it to be a little bit snug. And when you glue this to the top of the Advent box, the lid will just come off. So again, this is the original that I did using the Shadow Box punch board, and this box we just created. I'll take the bottom off. You will glue this to the top just like you did, and then apply your lid. And you can add a bow like we did here. You could add like a little knob if you want to do like a pull knob. Anything you would like to decorate with. Now in my original one, and when you watch the video, you'll see the sleeves are glued together here and they hold our drawers. And I did 6 drawers here, and there's 6 drawers here glued together. You'll see that in the original video. For my next one that I want to do 3 drawers here and then 3 drawers out to the side and rotate that around. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to turn out. But I think it'll be pretty to have a little decoration at the bottom and then a little decoration at the top. It'll give me more opportunity for some more color around the box. So I'm going to try that. So be watching for that one to come to you too, that video. All right, you guys, that is our edit to make it without the Shadow Box punch board. I hope that helps you, and I hope you don't mind me bringing this to you without a completed project because I wanted you to get this and be able to get started without having to wait on me to do it. So there you go. Now, you guys have been making the most beautiful advent calendars. If you want to see these and you want inspiration, you need to go to 2 places. 1 is our customer gallery at maymaymadeit.com, and 2 is our Facebook group called Maymay Made It and So Did I. You will not believe the beautiful projects that people are sharing for you to get to see their version of this calendar. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here today, and until next time, bye now.